to Wine Dine Combine, where the world of wines unfolds right before your eyes. Today, we are with Pablo Ferrand and his lovely wife, Justine. And we are talking not about wine, we are talking about cognac. Welcome to Malta, first of all. How are you feeling?
Not bad at all. Malta is absolutely amazing. We are really happy to be there to support our partners. We work with them for more or less 4 years, so it's the minimum we have to do.
When it comes to cognac, you are the 12th generation of cognac makers. When did this legacy that you now have on your hands hit you? Can you tell us a bit of history?
I start to study in the wine industry when I have 22, more or less. I finish my study. I go back to Paris to start my career. My dad pushed me outside of the company to start in a big company, to be ready to come back. After 4 years in the big company, I say, Dad, I'm ready to come back. I want to be back and want to take the history of the estates. He said, are you sure? It's a complex job. You cannot start and stop. It's not a one-day shot. It's a full life. He said, are you sure? And I speak to my grandfather in 2009, 2010. And my grandfather decided. He said, okay, we have to find a new big boss for the estate. My grandfather said, Pablo is ready today. So my dad asked me again, Pablo, are you sure? I say, yes, I'm sure. I want the red tractor and the Olympics. So I start to run it with my grandfather in 2008, my first distillation, 2009 and 2010. 2011 was the most important years of my life because the family was okay with my decision. You are not alone every time. It's a family decision. So the family was okay with the decision and say, okay, let's Pablo runs the estates. We do 2 next distillation, 2011, 2012, and my grandfather disappeared in 2013. So my dad said, okay, now you are the boss. You have to run the company. So since this time, I try to take care of it with my wonderful wife.
Big responsibility.
True, but it's not a big stress. I'm a bit anxious man, okay? Sorry for her.
She might defer.
She helped me a lot. I'm anxious, but I'm not anxious about my job. I'm anxious about my final customer. I'm anxious about you. Do you appreciate my cognac? Do you appreciate my legacy? That's the deal. I think my job is easy. It's a full day job, full year's job. You cannot stop it. But when you love what you do, it's not a job, it's an occupation. You know what I mean? So for me, a year, it's like a month. Okay, 2012 is finished, 2025 is finished. We have to run the next one. We do the harvest, we do the distillation. Everything goes so fast. When you love what you do, a day is not enough.
Yep, that's true. What are your earliest memories being around cognac? I mean, lawful memories are that you cannot drink before you're 18, but let's have a secret.
That's an easy question for me, the red tractor. Because, to be honest with you, I was born in Paris, not in the States. I spent all my holidays in the States. My cousins have the right to drive the tractor, the red one, the big one, because they lived in the campaign, they live in the domain. So when they got 13, 14, they had the right to drive it. I never got it. I think it was a small phantasm to drive it one day.
And was it more of a playground or a pleasure when you were around the...
No, it's big pleasure. It's big pleasure. You don't feel the power of the tradition. You just live inside, you know? I always see my grandfather smiling. He's happy doing the job. Okay, my dad is a bit rough, okay, big boss. My grandfather was so smiling guy, so happy guy. When you are a child,
Content.
yeah, 8 years old, 10 years old, 13, it shocks a lot for you, young generation. When you see someone old, just laughing with our job. You want to be at the same place 20 years after, you know? So I think I keep in my mind for when I was in college, when I was in army, when I was in big studies. I think I never stopped to dream on it, I think.
Do you feel that it's a bit harder to have a next generation growing the same way you did?
Not really, because the cognac is not the wine. The method we use didn't change for centuries, maybe more, maybe from the Egyptian. The alambics was artisanal, same shape, same repetition of move. To be honest, I think we don't create anything since the last 400 years. We just repeat the knowledge we learned from the whole generation. So I think today the next generation can be happy to be back again in the cognac. Wine industry move a lot. Cognac industry don't move a lot. Of course, the big one, Hennessy and Martin, would like to change the fire under the alambic to find a new gas, to find new method. But actually, the things don't change a lot. They still are the same for a long time.
So the family philosophy is basically that you kept going through generations the same tradition. Did something change from generation to generation? Improvements, new style of growing, I don't know.
Yes, because the distillation process, distillation style, increase a bit generation after generation. Every generation find just a new small rules, new one, very delicate. You had it in your method, okay? Every 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, a guy around you, a farmer, discover, okay, when I push this button, it will become better. So maybe try in your place. I'm not sure it works for me. Try in your place. If 20 farmers push the button at the same time and it becomes bigger, we write new rules on the paper and we adapt it, you know. But it's not like a peak. It's like very, 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 very slow.
So, if I'm right to say, from the family, because it's a family business, everybody has its own place or a spot in production. So let's touch the base. Justine mentioned that she's handling your digital marketing and stuff. What is your role exactly in the...
My role is to making as a storytelling, you know. We need to show to people that it's not an easy job. It's not one person that managing a whole team to be in the vineyard or something. He's doing all by himself. So it's important to show this by digital marketing. And also I would like to say that the new generation don't know what cognac really is. So it's really important to show to the new generation that cognac is much better or somehow like a gin, a good gin, or maybe, I don't know, a good whiskey, and it can be like this. And they need to taste to know how they can be with it and if they like this.
That's why we are here today, to say this story, you know, to the world of people who are following us. Probably they follow us because of the wine for now. But obviously we have so much to say about other spirits, about other drinks that we are putting out there.
Yeah.
Like cognac is let's say a byproduct of the wine, but it's much more than this. You know, there is a proper technology. Actually, you are not producing wines in your vineyard for wines. You are producing wines for the cognac.
To distill.
So Uni Blanc is your main grape. Yes.
Grape. It's from Italy. We use it because it's very acid. We cannot put sulfur in the wine, like in your wine, in the wine industry, to protect it. So we use the Uni Blanc for very, very long time because the Uni Blanc grow in France is very acid. it's very good to make a distillation wine. It keeps it safe for a long time, and we have to finish the distillation before the 31 of March. So we have to find, the industry have to find a grape able to do great distillation wine and able to be keep it without any suffer. I don't know when or where, but we use the Uni Blanc in the Cognac area for super long time. And it's the best grape to use in the alambics and to make good cognacs.
Very high acidity of the grape, so prolongs after the fermentation, it prolongs the life of the actual water.
We cannot distill wine with sugar inside. We have to distill wine without any sugar to be more straight, more delicate.
But still, you preserve a lot of taste in the cognac of the wine itself, and the fruitiness is more pronounced than if you would be drinking wine from Uni Blanc.
Yeah, that's it.
What I'd like to know is, how is the life in your home? How is everything tied up with that cognac production? How is your normal day
It's
going?
a mix. A normal day, you wake up at 5 or 6 and you go to bed at 9 or 10. But we have to be outside of the vineyards to be inside the industry. Okay, maybe you have to understand where I live. Where I live is a village, town of 60 people. Everybody is doing cognac. We have to move in the big town, Paris, Bordeaux, Marseille, to be connect with the young generation, my generation, and the whole generation, to understand what they needs, what they wants, and we can bring the best from the Grande Champagne.
Explain why Grande Champagne cru is so important, and why it's so important in the cognac world.
Thanks for this
Per se,
question.
not only for wines, but
It's very interesting question. When you are in Grande Champagne, you can write it on the bottle. What's mean? 5 different cru in the cognac area, like in wine. In wine, Burgundy, Bordeaux, Italy, you have different place. It calls that cru. So in cognac area, 5 different cru. Grande Champagne is the smallest and in the center. You can find more argile in the earth and more acidity also. It's a salty. So it gives you a better potential to keep it long time. Okay? More you are near of the ocean coast, more it's better to drink young. More you are in the Grande Champagne in the center, better is it to keep it very long time. Long time, what it means? More than 30, more than 40, more than 50 years. In order to keep this kind of liquid of eau de vie, you have to be inside the Grande Champagne. This place grow the oldest cognac you can find. That's it.
and that one we tried also.
This one,
At 70 years old, no?
that's 70 years old, was made by my grandfather, my grandfather, and my father. Inside you can find 3-4 generations. I just put the liquid on the bottle. I do nothing. The youngest one is from 1953. I was born in 82. Today, I do
But still,
more.
it is your legacy and something you continue working on.
Yeah.
So in let's say 40 years, we will have part of
Thank you.
into 70-year-old cognac.
The range is 6 products. Today, I run 50% of the range. I do the premium, 3 years old, VSOP 7, and my first Texto, 15 years old.
Pablo, your distillation process is done with the Charentais method style. And what is so magical about this, and why do you stick to it?
Wonderful
Warning,
question.
I'm going to interrupt you during
No,
this.
wonderful question. I don't know when or where. Okay, maybe it's important to understand where it comes from. We don't create the shape. We don't create it. Alambic, it's an Arabic word. So the legend said it's the people from UK learn and teach us maybe 500 years ago. I don't know why we keep this shape, but today we understand. Because it's the best shape. When you distill gin, whiskey, or vodka, you use like a colon alambics. It's more or less industrial. If you distill it with the Charente pot still, it's like when you cook home. It's like artisanal distillation. Because you can select, it's like a small cook in your home, okay? It's like if you do difference between colons when you cook for 300 person in the same times, or Charente style when you cook for 3 person at home.
You mentioned that you are using gas to burn it,
exactly.
So you keep the same steady temperature when you're burning. Before it was used the wood, the corn clips, whatever it was. But right now it's gas.
Right now.
And one very important thing to mention, that the pots are made from copper.
Exact.
Now, the knowledge is that taste much better than the stainless steel ones. And I heard that there is different types of copper.
The copper is used because it protects the wine. It's a sanitary material, and I don't know why it's anti-biologic. So it's good to keep...
Antimicrobial.
Yes, exactly. It's the best balance to keep the taste and to secure the distillation for the final customer, you know. I don't think you have a lot of difference between copper for cognac or for Armagnac or for whiskey, but the shape of the alembic is very, very, very different. I think, in my opinion, all is from the shape. All is from the top of the alembic, we call that the chapeau. And the chapeau have a special shape. You can do 10 in the same days. The taste will be different because we do it manual. It's an artisanal work. And every move is different, so it will give you a special taste. Every guys have to understand how the alembics runs in the farm, you know.
So you get the experience. This is not something that you can just buy it, press the button and do it.
You need more or less if you buy a new one, a new alembic, you need more or less 3 years to understand it. 3 campaigns. The first one you do it, okay, that's not good. The second one you start to blah, blah, blah. And the third one, you success and you keep it. To be honest with you, I run the way of my grandfather. 55 years ago, my grandfather discovered a method, a good one. He received awards. Farmer from Segonzac, from the industry say, okay, Pierre, you found something nice. Keep it. To be honest with you, I keep it. I just change small, really, really, really small things, but my method comes from 55 years ago.
What are the emotions that you are putting in chasing that final blend of cognac? Because let's face it, some of the cognacs are blend among the generation, but some of the newer ones that you are creating, you are blending several years of the produce that you did of distillate itself. So let's see what you're chasing in that final taste yourself.
I think I'm...
Because that's what we are drinking now.
Yeah,
so.
I think I'm a bit traditional. And maybe also you have to understand, I do the wine, I do the distillation, but I am not the person who decide of which eau de vie, which barrel we will use to make the blend. It's the job of my dad and the master cellar. It's the family decision. We would like to build the range with a style, maybe the style of Pierre de Segonzac. We found it, and the job of the master cellar is to try to keep it, to keep the same style years after years. So my job is to distill the best eau de vie as is possible. As you remember in the taste, the eau de vie is completely clear when I receive. I put in a barrel, and with the barrel, the colors comes.
And the taste.
And the taste, of course. But you have taste in eau de vie. The flavors are very flowers, aromas, very, very delicate. With the mix
aromatic.
Of the wood, very aromatic. With the mix between the wood, the air, and the liquid, it becomes 2 years after a young cognac. The job of the master cellar is to mix between 25, 35 different barrels to keep the range style and to keep it same for a long time.
Justine, you are the storyteller now.
Yeah.
So you're telling the stories about the cognac. Tell us one story that is specific for Pierre de Segonzac.
I can talk about my first distillation. Can be nice to explain.
Yes, please.
Because we need to clean everything. So near to the alembic, into the alembic, we need to clean everything before the distillation. So it was really nice for me because I come from a family of farmers, but in north of France, so it's a bit different in this kind of culture. So I went to Pablo's house and I came to the alembic to clean it. It was really interesting because we went inside and after that we start to distill the wine. So all the house is smelling like apple or pineapple or everything during 1 month long, you know. It was really something impressive also for me because if you go into the place where we are going to do distillation, there is a lot of picture of Pierre, the grandfather of Pablo. I didn't know him for real in life, so it was something take you into your heart and you are in the process telling yourself, okay, this job is really dangerous, so you need to be aware about everything you are doing, and you know that one day, I don't know, first day, the climatic condition can go into the distillation process and change every sip of cognac or eau de vie you will drink after. So it's a whole thing, and I think it's a whole story to understand when you drink this kind of things. So for me, it's really impressive, you know.
And he mentioned the story that when you're going in to clean the vats, and I saw that picture. How did you fit there?
It's not dangerous, but you have to be healthy. And
can I fit there?
Maybe. It's a job for the skinny guy, and you have to be. It's maybe 70 degrees inside. It's not dangerous, but you have to be.
You have the vapor of alcohol, and you can fall down into.
The distillery is a dangerous place because you have the vapor of the wine, and the vapor of the wine kills the earth, so you cannot breathe. Some places are very dangerous, and sorry, but every year around my place, we lose so much people because of stupid decision. Because we want to do it too faster. We want to win time. Actually, you lose your life.
Still, you keep the temperature of the vat.
Exact. And you go in this place that you don't have to go because the wine wasn't and no air. So you go inside and you fall down. It's not like industry or a nuclear program, but because big volumes, a lot of energy, a lot of evaporation, a lot of alcohol. Yeah, you have to be aware, you have to be careful. And when we distill, we don't open the door. It's not open house. Only few people can visit you, and you have to be quiet. I don't receive any friends.
You need to be focused and concentrated.
I ask to my friends wants to come, I say sorry, no. Because it's not a game. And if I do it wrong, the village can explode, me inside, or implode. It's big pressure system. Mm-hmm. So, and I can kill people if I do bad job. So, for the last 400 years, we do good job. It's the minimum to continue. You
say, okay, cognac is something that you drink with cigars, you know, and stuff. Let's break that myth. You know, cognac is it's something actually that you can drink every day.
Every day.
A glass, a sip, as aperitif. Or as a digestive.
Exactly.
As you decide. And also, there is so many foods that you can pair with cognac. Something untried, untested. Me personally, I like a good cognac with some salad. Exactly. Now, that's the only time I'm eating salad actually. I'm a meat guy, but because of cognac, obviously. But I really like pairing it with salad. Yes. So what is the most funny food that you like to pair your cognacs with?
A lot of idea comes from outside France. A lot of people outside France drink cognac, especially in north of Europe, Norway, Sweden. So with no cooked fish.
Smoked fish.
Very, very good. A lot of people drink cognac in South America with a canapé with salmon and avocado. Mamma mia. With the main courses, you can mix it with strong meat, very, very strong meat.
White pig.
Yeah, white pig and your white rabbit. The white meat, you can cook with it. The taste is lovely. And at the end, with the cake with fruits, with chocolate, of course. When we discovered chocolate decades ago, chocolate can be lovely.
I try cognacs with chocolate, but I didn't try this one. I wouldn't mix it with chocolate. But I found that the smoother cognacs, the older ones, the aged ones, go very well with baked peppers, even with garlic.
Exact.
Nothing destroys it. The taste is even more pronounced and more flavorful. And even if you add some balsamico, it even goes better.
Yeah.
So cognacs are really versatile when it comes to the food pairing.
Yeah.
So you can actually drink it all night. You don't need to cut. Okay, I had it for aperitif, that's one. You can have 2 or 3 glasses during your food.
Exactly.
And mix it and match it with the food. Which dishes you would suggest to use for starter, for main course, for dessert?
In Malta, you have a lot of things to eat. In Malta, you cook good, very good. So
today we are
it can be easy.
here at Rebekah's. The owner is Andrew Vella. What would you suggest that he can maybe create? Some kind of menu that will match your cognac?
You first, madame. I can
would
help
say
you.
maybe as an entrance, the crispy polpo
Oh yeah.
with cognac can be nice.
Yeah, true. Because it's a white cheer and it can be really good.
As a main plate, I would say maybe pork or rabbit, maybe.
Yeah,
can
the
be
rabbit
nice.
from Malta. The rabbit ragu from Malta can be good. Yeah. But at the end, I think a dessert with truffles and chocolate. Because in my place, we also grow truffles. We have a small dog, his name is Omar, my treasure. So we grow truffles, and 2 years ago, we discovered 1 kilogram truffles. I offer it to my cousins, because my cousin is like, Rebekah is like a cooker, good one. He said, okay, let's create a chocolate dessert, and I wrapped the truffles on it.
One thing that it might be a sacrilege, at least not something I would try, but
I know
do you
what you
mix
mean.
cognac
Of
in the
course,
cocktails?
Yeah, and we have to. Why? To talk to the young generation, I think. We have to remember that in New York in the 1920s, a lot of great bartenders create very good
Old-fashioned cocktails.
Old-fashioned cocktails. In France, in London, Spain, it's a big boom for the bartending. So thanks to Guillaume, he works with Madame Pong in Bordeaux, and Katerina in Russia, or also Cristina in Peru. They are bartenders, but not just whiskey coca. They create something special for you.
And they are the ambassador of Pierre de Segonzac.
They are ambassador for Pierre de Segonzac. They help us a lot to push the door, I think. And the young generation have to start somewhere. If you follow exactly the way of your father, of your mother, it's nice, but every new generation wants to find his own way.
Yes.
So this is a new way. I'm okay with it, completely okay.
If you are to describe your cognac with 3 words, but you cannot use smooth, rich, or elegant.
Tradition. This kind of cognac, the extra you taste, is typical from my village, typical from my ground, typical from a small alembic of 18 hectoliters style. My grandfather will be here, he will explain you. To build a 50 years old cognac good is not hard. Give me a good wine, distill it with love, and wait 50 years. That's it. We use the same wood barrel for long time, long generation, always the same. But I think for the last 25 years, we understand that the wood is super important. That's why the government fixed the rules on the paper about the wood industry. Before my generation, we can use many woods. Today, only one from the Limousin forest. They discovered the wood maybe is 30% of the method. You know, a good wood, a good place to stock, very good. Not so humid, not so fresh, not a lot of changing temperature inside. The cognac is not only one guy. The cognac is 150 very small things to do it. Okay.
And it's a teamwork as well.
Always. In the wine industry is one vintage of David, one vintage of Caroline, one vintage of blah blah. Inside is the job of 5 people for 10 years, 15 years, 10 people for 20 years, 7 people for the last 10. So in total, in the bottle, is the job of what? 35% for minimum 30 to 45 years. This kind of cognacs have to be shared with 2-3 persons on the table. It's not to make party on discotheque with 15 persons wake up and laughing. This kind of cognac, when you take a sip, the taste stay for minimum 20-25 minutes in your mouth and change. You take a sip, take your glass, drink. If you take times with your friends to appreciate it, you will discover the taste change in your mind, in your mouth. You say, oh my God, okay, I take another sip. Oh my God, it's changing. What
It's evolving.
It's evolving.
It's
and
breathing.
your friends don't feel exactly the same. You say, okay, I feel raspberry or chocolate. What do you feel? Oh, a bit different. For me, it's vanilla, blah, blah.
Somebody mentioned banana a couple of nights ago. Where people can try your cognacs. Now, we know that in Malta, Emba Wines and Spirits are getting your cognac here. But else in Europe, which countries in Europe probably would be?
The nearest from you is Italy, Spain, Germany is a big market, UK for sure, Denmark. We got with the Lodrup's company. I know in Malta you lot a lot of football, so we went with the old player Lodrup. It's an international player. He ran the company. Slovenia, Slovakia, Estonia, Ukraine. We don't focus so much in France. We focus on number one. We focus on the international partner. My job is to visit you, to find some guys like Tony's, like Brian, who understand. You know why? You know what? Sorry, Tony's and Brian comes in my place from Malta. Not so many people do it. A lot of people, sorry, take a list and say, okay, we will do business with this, Heineken and then Coca-Cola. Okay. What kind of partner take the cars, drive to come in my place? I repeat, my place is 60 people. Nothing to do. It's not Disneyland or Paris, Champs-Élysées.
No, I know why they came. They came because of the cognac.
They came because of the vineyards.
And then they met you, and then you become friends with them.
And they spend time in the domain.
I need to ask you this. I don't know what you think about it, but blind tasting cognac or Armagnac?
Both are very good. In my place, we said, okay, choose a nice Armagnac than a bad cognac. That's it. Okay, I prefer a good Armagnac than a bad cognac. And in Armagnac, they do a great job. Trust me, in my area, in cognac area, you can find very, very, very bad cognacs. Only for supermarket and volumes.
For the cooking, you mean?
For the cooking, it's same everywhere. In Armagnac, trust me, you can find the finest. So I think it's not a war. It's complementarity. And you have to understand Armagnac is super small. Maybe it's important to say in front of the camera, thanks to Hennessy and Rémy Martin, today in the area we produce more or less in 1 year 200 million bottles per year. Okay? In Armagnac they produce 2 million bottles. Not the same job, not the same. Thanks to who? Thanks to the big major, Hennessy, Courvoisier, Martel. They push the door for me. Maybe if Hennessy don't push the door of Rebekah, you don't invite me, no? So it's not a war. We need the big to be alive.
It's a symbiosis.
I think.
What if in another 30 years you create a great cognac that involves all your generation, so it will be 100-year-old cognac, and you sit with your grandfather and sip it? What would he say about the taste of that cognac? Because where do you see yourself in 30 years? That's more or less the same.
I hope he will be happy. He will be proud. I'm asking this question every morning. My job today will be used in 30 or 40 years. So, and I think it's the same in all the cognac area. We are not like in wine. We are never sure of what we do. How can be sure? Take your wine, go to your friend's door, knock knock, can you try it? Please give me your opinion. And trust me, the best master sellers in the cognac area are like children. They work for the biggest. They win 10,000 euro a month, no problem. They present you the new product like that. Okay, can you taste it? Give me your feelings. They are never sure. Who creates the best cognac in the world? I don't know. You don't know. Depends on you. So when you put a new product on the table, you are always afraid. I prepare my new XO for the last 3 years now. The master sellers say, "Hello, it's ready. Put it on the shelves." I said, "No."
You are not sure?
Yeah. I said, "No." For free, the last 3 years. I said, "Pablo, it's ready. Okay, put it on the shelves. Go to Pro Wine, go to the fair and present to your partner." No, it's not ready. We have to wait. Now, 3 years after, I say, "Okay, let's go." Because it's like when you paint, I feel like Michelangelo. It's never perfect. Never. More you wait, better is it. So you want to wait more and more.
Do you do the cognac tastings?
Sure. It's free, you don't have to pay. And it's maybe beautiful to see. We are near of the Jarnac,
The city of
François Mitterrand. Okay, Cognac is a city of a king, Jarnac a city of François Mitterrand. And you have the Charente. It's really beautiful. You can spend 2-3 days.
I will tell you a secret about Wine Dine Combine. So, of course, we cannot make cognac. We don't do wine. We don't create nothing for now. And as the ages go, the only good thing we do is finding the people like you, tasting their cognacs and or wines or drinks, and giving to the people something that we found, a jewel among the others. So I think with that we can conclude today's interview and say cheers.